and you'll definitely find Huxtable Antiques at the Ottawa Antique Market. We have all the details and many cool antiques to show you right now with Rick Huxtable. Nice to have you here, Rick.
Thanks for having us.
How long has Huxtable Antiques been around for?
We've been around for 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so primarily you were found out of the Ottawa Antique Market.
Yes.
But do you have a home base for your own antiques?
I work out of my home in Almont. I've
Okay.
been out in the Lanark County for 40 years, buying and selling. And when the opportunity came to move into Almont, from Almont into Ottawa, I took it, and it's been a great experience at the Ottawa Antique Market.
Okay, so the Ottawa Antique Market has also been around for 30 years?
30 years.
Wow, so tell us more about that market. Where exactly is it found?
It's at 1179 Bank Street. That's the south end of Ottawa, and it's down underground. It's a little tucked out of the way, but a great place to find.
What do you mean by underground? Like you have to, like you got to go underground to see those
Yes,
antiques?
we're in the back of an old car dealership that back from the 60s, and, and it's kind of tucked away, but when you find it, you'll come back all the time.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
All right. So why the love of antiques? If we were
it's passion. There's, this business is full of great collectors and people with lots of passion. And I'm always amazed at what people are looking for and they collect. It goes from early 17th century stuff up to things that are only maybe 20 or 30 years old. You never know.
Okay, so that is the question I want to ask, because when you talk about the word antique, and different dealers will tell you different things. So how far back in time do you have to go to consider something an antique?
Generally, it's 100 years, but these days, if Grandma and Grandpa had it, it's an antique to them. So
of course.
They're if you remembered it in their house, they're collectible.
Okay, so you have brought lots of questions to get to here. I'm fascinated by this, but you've brought some. So this is your own personal collection?
No, these are different things from different vendors that are at the shop.
Okay.
It pretty well covers everywhere from the batter jug, which goes back to 1870, up to Danish modern, which is 1970.
Okay,
and everything in between.
Let's start with the batter jug then. So what do you mean exactly by batter? When I think batter, I'm thinking like pancake mix?
Sure
is that exactly what it is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was to pour batters in the larger shanties or large homes. And it's a decorated piece from the Hart Brother and Laser period. It's Canadian. Design is very unusual to have a bird on it. Quite unusual. It's
not exactly used anymore.
Not so much, no. These are decoration, most things, but a lot of people do use their antiques.
Can I ask you what that would go for?
Oh, this price range on a piece like this would be somewhere around $1,500.
$1,500. So we need to be careful.
On some of this stuff, yes. Not everything, but
don't be careful with Rick's stuff here.
Yeah.
Okay, the second piece. What's right beside the batter jug?
The second piece. This is one of the dealers at the shop. It's Gerald Tallfeather. He's a Canadian artist. It belongs to Lindsay Hessler. Who's quite well known in the Ottawa market for paintings and prints, and he's got a lot of experience.
That's something. Okay, I am fascinated to ask you price points, because I wouldn't know. Do you know? I mean, are you an expert on figuring out
most
exactly
of this stuff? Yeah, I've handled lots of things over the years, and we're pretty aware of where things are market.
Because if I was to go to a rummage sale or something like that, and I'd see a piece like that, I think, okay, maybe it's like a few bucks, you know, because you don't know any better. But I'm assuming that's worth more than that.
Yes, this piece runs about $1,000 to $1,200. Wow. Great Canadian art, very well known.
How are you able to appraise something like that?
It's experience. We're asked to, if we do appraisals, to deal in the article. So we get an idea of when the market changes. And if you've handled it 3 or 4 times, it gives you an idea what the market value is.
Okay. A few minutes left. I want to get to the last, of course, items that we have here.
This is another vendor at the shop, Jim Denemuske. It's Lotti dishes. They're Norwegian. It ties into the Danish modern, the teak furniture, and it's become quite popular. It's bright, colorful, and it's finding a new space in the antique market.
Okay. What would you say is the most popular item that's up for grabs these days at the antique market?
Danish modern is quite in demand, but all the other things in the business are still strong and still moving. This stuff is a new addition to the market for us. This and the next piece, which belongs to Julia Pine, this falls into the kitsch category, and it's usually bright, colorful, lots of form, and It's a new era of collecting.
Can I ask you what kitsch means? What's that all about?
It's decorative, it's colorful. It's just a new way of looking at decorating.
Okay.
You can tie in the early stuff right to the very contemporary
Interesting.
types of things. Yeah.
Very fascinating. And your final piece, we have a book here.
Yes, this is another piece of another vendor, Bill Cameron, specializes in books, and he's got a great selection. Thousands of books at the shop and tens of thousands at home. He covers anything in Canadiana to world biographies. He's very knowledgeable. Great guy to know. It's an interesting business.
So how old would this book be then?
The book covers the Ottawa Fire Department.
Yeah.
This book is out of the 60s time
So would it
frame.
still be considered an antique, though?
Not really, but it's just part of our business.
Vintage.
Vintage.
All right, retro.
Yeah, retro,
Okay,
you
cool.
got it.
How often is the Ottawa Antique Market open?
We're open 6 days a week.
6 days a week.
Closed on Tuesdays. We run from 10 till 6.
Yeah.
And there's a good staff there. There's some vendors that spend a lot of their time there also. And then we have some that are only there maybe once or twice a week.
Okay, that's amazing. And obviously, I mean, you're there quite often.
Yes.
How many days a week are you there?
Myself, I generally spend 4 days a week.
Yeah.
During the summer, I like to be out on the road on the treasure hunt.
Of course.
And this is the true heart for me.
Lots of treasures to be found. Rick Huxtable with Huxtable Antiques, thank you very much for being here today and bringing all your amazing treasures.
Thank you very much for having us.
Appreciate your
It's
time.
great.
We've got more Daytime Ottawa coming up in moments right here on Rogers TV. Don't go anywhere.